Hi, I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Graham Noble, Sarah Cowgill, Tim Donner, and Joe Schaefer, and this is Liberty Nation's online news program. Today, what the heck is the Biden campaign doing, sending their candidate to Pittsburgh to look like a stooge and sound like a liar? Our Liberty Nation panel dissects a segment we call Fracking Joe. This week, the Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, went to Pennsylvania, and his campaign strategist shuffled Joe Biden off to Pittsburgh to deny he would bring the fracking industry to its knees. They call him, apparently, Fracking Joe in the Keystone State. Does he protesteth too much, Graham?
Yes, I think that's a big problem. I think the fracking is a huge problem, especially in a state like Pennsylvania. And I think the idea that he can now go up there and say, "Oh no, we're not gonna ban fracking." That's a bit like when you hear a Democrat say, "Oh, I don't want to take your guns." You know, it's the same thing. And you see what they do with gun control is, no, they're not going to simply take your guns, but they're going to, through regulation and laws and all kinds of other backroom staff, behind the scenes staff, they're going to make it damn near impossible for you to buy a gun or own a gun or carry a gun or buy the ammunition for the gun. This is what they do. They're going to do the same with fracking. So sure, they won't, but he's not going to ban fracking, but he will make sure it's regulated out of existence. And I think people actually understand that. And of course, Joe Biden has said in the past that he is all about actually, getting rid of fracking, call it banning or don't call it banning. But he's about getting rid of it. Just back in one of the presidential debates in March, Bernie Sanders just kind of lost it and started talking about no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're going to get rid of fracking. And Joe Biden turned around and said, yeah, I agree with him. So I think he's got a major problem there.
The thing that I can't understand, and it speaks to a shocking level of incompetence in the Biden campaign, is that they would send him to that empty warehouse with people sitting in these little painted circles with their notebooks and pens, even though they're not allowed to ask questions and they could watch the whole thing on TV like the rest of us, is how they could let him make a statement that he's not opposed to fracking. First of all, you don't repeat the charge made against you. That's political malpractice 101. You don't repeat the charge. I remember when Christine O'Donnell, running for the Senate in Delaware in 2010, somebody called her a witch, and she did an ad saying, "I'm not a witch." Well, that was the end of that campaign. You don't repeat the charge. But what they did was they sent him out to claim that he was in favor of fracking, wants to continue it, it's just fine, when there's so much footage over months and months of him saying that he was going to shut down the entire fossil fuel industry. The disingenuousness of it is amazing, but the political malpractice of trying to claim something where there's clear evidence on tape that you said the opposite is beyond anything I can understand.
Well,
in a presidential campaign.
I think you have to understand that they sent him to Pennsylvania. They didn't send him to the oil and gas country in the Southwest. Texas is not going to be the place to send that message. It's Pennsylvania. That's the state they're most worried about. That's the state they want to be able to beat Trump in. Then they've already got New Mexico sewed up because there's nothing but a bunch of liberal people trying to shut down every oil and gas organization and company in the Southwest. So if you talk to any people in the industry whatsoever, they hate Joe Biden. They don't care what he's trying to resurrect. They heard him say, "I agree with Bernie Sanders," and they have seen him embrace Bernie Sanders moving forward. This is not an industry that's going to change their minds on voting for Joe Biden. They're just not going to do it.
Yeah, and it's another example, I think, to me, of you can't run away from that woke progressive primary they had. You know, they all had to say all kinds of crazy things. Universal health care for illegal aliens, sure, raise your hand. Transgender kids, vetting the Department of Education nominee, Elizabeth Warren, sure, I'm all for that. They had to just make one ridiculous promise after another to get through that primary. And then they all flood to Joe Biden like it's all going to be okay, and we're not going to remember that we didn't have video of them talking on national television for all those months. They panicked when they took this guy, and now you know, he's supposed to be the Trojan horse who's going to sneak in all those things that they felt wouldn't win a presidential election. But you know, it's the internet age. You're not going to run away. You're not going to be able to run away and hide from all those things you had to say along the way.
And that's it for another edition of Truth TV. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember to look for Liberty Nation in your favorite search engine. Subscribe to our daily briefing and check out our new Roku channel. And remember, Liberty all the time and everywhere.